Imagine holding a small copper coin from 1949 in your hand, something that has been passed through countless pockets, purses, and tills for decades, and yet today could be worth far more than its face value. That's the hidden magic of the Liberty Wheat penny from 1949. If you happen to own this coin, it might just turn the tables for you. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal its value according to eBay, online platforms, and auctions, along with how you can sell it. At the end, I'll give you a way to know its exact price and the selling procedure. So stick around. The 1949 Wheat penny is a continuation of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. This series ran until 1958, and during that time it became one of the most beloved and collected designs in American history. The obverse of the 1949 penny features the portrait of Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse proudly carries the wheat ears, symbolic of American prosperity and hard work. 1949. The United States was experiencing significant changes. World War II had ended only a few years earlier, and the country was entering a period of economic growth and transition. Pennies minted during this time circulated widely in a nation that was redefining itself in the post-war era. Each 1949 wheat penny is a small artifact of that moment in history, linking us to an America full of both challenges and opportunities. There were three main versions of the 1949 wheat penny: those minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, those minted in Denver with a D mint mark, and those minted in San Francisco with an S mint mark. Each variety has its own mintage numbers and collector interest. Philadelphia produced the largest quantity, while the San Francisco issues are scarcer and often more sought after. The metal composition of the 1949 wheat penny remained 95% copper with a small balance of tin and zinc. These copper coins not only carried monetary value but also became part of everyday American life. They passed through hands at diners, gas stations, schools, and shops, often unnoticed in their day-to-day role. Today, the story is different. Collectors and sellers look at these coins with a sharp eye, focusing on details such as mint marks, condition, and even errors. For example, 1949 pennies with strong mint luster, sharp details, or doubling errors are far more valuable than ordinary worn pieces. On eBay and other online platforms, a circulated 1949 penny might sell for as little as a few cents above its face value, especially in average condition. However, higher-grade coins begin to command stronger prices. Uncirculated examples often fetch between $5 and $20 depending on quality, and certified mint state coins can bring $50 to $100 or more. Some error coins or particularly rare examples have gone for even higher prices at auctions. Auction houses also highlight the potential of this coin's 1968 sitting in your drawer, something you might think is just ordinary change. But what if I told you that this coin could actually change your fortune? The Liberty 5-cent coin from 1968 has a history, a story, and a market value that might surprise you. If you have one, it might just turn the tables for you. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal how much it's worth according to eBay, other online platforms, and even auction houses. Plus, I'll guide you on how you can sell it. And at the very end, I'll tell you exactly how you can find its true price and the selling procedure. So stick around. The Liberty nickel, more commonly known as the Jefferson nickel by 1968, carried forward a legacy that started back in 1938 when it replaced the Buffalo nickel, designed by Felix Schlag. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. On the reverse is Jefferson's home, Monticello, an architectural masterpiece that remains one of America's most iconic symbols. 1968, the United States Mint was undergoing changes. The Coinage Act of 1965 had eliminated silver from dimes and quarters, and nickels continued to be struck from their long-standing alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. That makes the 1968 nickel not just a coin, but a snapshot of American economic policy during a turbulent period. What makes the 1968 issue particularly interesting is that it was one of the first years when the San Francisco Mint began striking proof nickels again after a brief hiatus. So, you'll find not only the regular circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver but also proof coins from San Francisco. Each variety carries a different level of collectability and value. The Philadelphia Mint coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins carry a D mint mark, and San Francisco issues carry an S mint mark. Proof coins from San Francisco are especially attractive to collectors because of their mirror-like finish and low mintages compared to circulation coins. As everyday money, the 1968 Liberty 5-cent coin passed through countless hands during an era marked by the Vietnam War, civil rights movements, and cultural shifts across America. That's why holding one today feels like holding a piece of American history frozen in time. Now when it comes to value, condition and mint mark make all the difference. A heavily circulated 1968 nickel might only be worth its face value or slightly more on eBay and similar platforms. These sell for around 25 cents to $1 in average condition, but coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can fetch significantly higher amounts. For example, a 1968 D nickel in brilliant uncirculated condition can bring anywhere from $10 to $30, depending on its grade. A 1968 S-proof nickel, especially in deep cameo condition, can sell for $50 or more. In rare cases, coins with exceptional that might just change the way you see the pennies lying around in your drawers or tucked away in old jars. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin that looks ordinary, yet could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its type and condition. If you happen to have a 1942 Liberty wheat penny, it might just turn the tables for you. So stick around until the end of this video as we uncover not only its fascinating history, but also how collectors on platforms like eBay and in major auctions are valuing it today. And don't go anywhere, because at the end of this video, I'll reveal how you can find out the real price of your coin and the procedure to sell it, but only if you comment the price in the box below. The story of the 1942 wheat penny begins in a time of global upheaval. The United States was entering World War II, and every aspect of American life was influenced by the demands of the war effort. Money and coinage were no exception. The 1942 penny belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, first minted in 1909, to honor Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. By 1942, the wheat penny had already become one of the most recognized coins in American pockets. The coin was struck in huge numbers, but what makes the 1942 issue fascinating is the period it represents. These were some of the last pennies made from the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc before the government shifted to steel cents in 1943 to conserve copper for the war. That means the 1942 penny captures the final chapter of an era before coinage materials drastically changed. On the obverse, we see the timeless profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His portrait symbolizes unity and leadership, something the country needed deeply in wartime. On the reverse, the simple wheat stalks frame the denomination, reminding Americans of agriculture growth and stability. This design, which gives the coin its name, is among the most beloved in American numismatic history. What adds to the charm of the 1942 wheat penny is that it comes in several varieties depending on where it was minted. Philadelphia struck the coin without a mint mark, Denver coins carry a D mark, and San Francisco issues have the S mark. Each minting location has different survival rates and levels of rarity, with some varieties fetching higher values at auctions. Collectors today treasure these coins because they are not just small pieces of change but tangible links to one of the most important moments in modern history. During 1942, the United States was fully mobilizing for war. Materials like copper were vital for shell casings, wiring, and equipment. Every penny counted, literally and figuratively, making these coins a symbol of resilience. Now let's talk about value, because that's where things get. Welcome back to the coins world, where today we are going to dive deep into the fascinating story of the Liberty 5-cent coin from 1984. Now let me tell you this right at the start. If you own this coin, it might just turn the tables for you. So stick around until the end, because I will reveal its real worth according to eBay, auction houses, and other online platforms, and more importantly, how you can sell it. But at the very end, instead of giving away every detail here, I will ask you to comment price in the comment box, and I will personally guide you with the latest value and the exact selling procedure. The Liberty 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the Jefferson nickel in 1984, has a history rooted in American tradition and post-war identity. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, it featured the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. This design carried on for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. By 1984, the Jefferson nickel had already been a familiar sight for nearly half a century, making it not only a circulating coin but also a piece of cultural continuity. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, the obverse features the iconic portrait of Jefferson. The reverse shows Monticello, his Virginia estate, a structure that represents Jefferson's vision of architecture, learning, and personal legacy. In 1984, the design was unchanged, but the condition and mending details of the coin gave it unique collectible appeal. The 1984 Jefferson nickel was struck at multiple mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco produced proof issues with the S mint mark. While most of these nickels were produced in massive numbers for circulation, the proof strikes from San Francisco, with their mirror-like surfaces, are especially valued among collectors. What makes the 1984 nickel particularly interesting are the errors and varieties that emerged during its production. Collectors pay close attention to double die obverses, repunched mint marks, and even off-center strikes. These errors, though unintended by the U.S. Mint, add significant value to coins that otherwise would be worth only face value. The historical importance of the Jefferson nickel series cannot be overstated. It represents stability during an era of change in American coinage. By 1984, other denominations like the penny had already undergone shifts in composition, moving from copper to copper-plated zinc, but the nickel retained its original 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. This continuity gave the coin a reassuring familiarity to the American public. Welcome back to the coins world, where every coin carries a hidden story that might just change the way you see the money in your pocket. Imagine this for a moment. You pick up a penny that looks old, worn, and ordinary. It's dated 1952, and without a second thought, you might toss it aside as just 1 cent. But what if I told you that this very coin, the 1952 Liberty wheat penny, could turn the tables for you? That's right. Behind its humble face value lies a long history, fascinating details, and a potential market worth that could surprise you. Stick with me until the end of this video, because that's where I'll reveal how much this coin is worth according to eBay, online platforms, and auctions. And I'll also tell you how you can sell it if you're lucky enough to own one. The 1952 Liberty wheat penny belongs to one of the most iconic coin series in American history. The wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For the first time in U.S. coinage history, the face of a real person, Lincoln himself, was placed on a circulating coin. It was a bold move and instantly captured the hearts of Americans. The wheat ears on the reverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, symbolized prosperity and growth, and together with Lincoln's portrait, the coin became both a tribute and a national statement. The time 1952 rolled around, the wheat penny had already been in circulation for over 4 decades. America was in the midst of post-World War prosperity, but also in the early stages of the Cold War. Every day, life was shifting, industries were booming, and coins like the 1952 wheat penny were circulating in the hands of families across the nation. The coin was struck in bronze, consisting of 95% copper and small amounts of tin and zinc. This rich copper composition is one of the reasons collectors love these coins so much. Over time, the copper develops a natural patina, and in some cases mint state coins shine with an incredible red luster that collectors are always chasing. The Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint all produced the 1952 wheat penny. The ones from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco coins with an S. Each mint had large outputs, but the condition of surviving coins makes all the difference today. At first glance, you might think the 1952 penny is common, but scarcity comes into play. When you look for higher grades, circulated examples are everywhere, but coins in pristine uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, are far less common. These are the coins that truly stand out in the marketplace. Another fascinating point is that the 1952 wheat penny falls within the later years of the series, just 7 years before the reverse design would change to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. This makes the coin part of the final chapter of the beloved wheat design, which adds historical weight for collectors. Welcome back to the coin world, where rare coins and their fascinating stories come to life. Today we are diving into the history and value of the Liberty Wheat Penny from 1940, a coin that may look simple at first glance but carries decades of history, heritage, and in some cases, serious value. If you own one of these, it just might turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end because I'll share exactly how you can sell this coin, where collectors are buying, and the surprising prices it has been fetching. Online. The Wheat Penny has long been a beloved series among coin collectors. Minted between 1909 and 1958, the Lincoln Wheat Cent was designed by Victor David Brenner and introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent and was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. That alone makes the Wheat Penny a piece of history that stands out in the world of American numismatics. The 1940 Wheat Penny was minted during an important time in American history. The world was on the brink of World War II, and while the United States had not yet entered the conflict, the political climate was tense. Millions of these coins circulated in everyday commerce, carrying the image of Lincoln on one side and two wheat stalks on the other, symbolizing prosperity and growth during uncertain times. For ordinary citizens, this penny represented not just currency, but resilience. Now, the 1940 penny was struck in huge numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 586 million of them, while the Denver Mint added more than 81 million with the small d mint mark, and San Francisco contributed over 112 million with the S mint mark. That means in total, more than 780 million wheat pennies entered circulation in 1940. Because of that, a regular circulated example is often worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars. But what makes this coin fascinating is the variation in condition, mint marks, and rare errors that can dramatically raise its value. Collectors love this coin for its history, but they pay premiums for high-grade examples. A 1940 wheat penny in average circulated condition might only be worth around 10 to 50 cents, but an uncirculated one with strong luster and minimal marks can sell for $10 to $1.20. And when you reach the highest levels of grading, such as coins graded mint state 67 or higher, the price jumps into the hundreds and even thousands of dollars. These top-tier coins are rare survivors that avoided wear and damage for over 80 years, making them highly desirable to serious collectors. Errors and varieties also add another layer of excitement. For example, some 1940 wheat pennies show doubling on the obverse, where the letters or date look doubled due to a die error. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks simple, a coin that may have passed through thousands of hands in grocery stores, gas stations, and school cafeterias, yet silently carries with it decades of American history and value far beyond its 5 cents. That is the story of the Liberty 5-cent coin from 1960, to a small piece of change that could turn the tables for you if you happen to own one. So stick around until the end of this video, because not only will I take you deep into its history, but I will also reveal its worth according to eBay and other online platforms, along with how you could sell it if you are lucky enough to have one. The 1962 Liberty 5 cent, also known as the Jefferson nickel, is part of a long-running series that began in 1938 and still continues today. By 1962, the design had already been circulating for nearly a quarter century, yet it retained its place in American life as one of the most recognized and heavily used coins in the nation's currency system. On the obverse of the coin, we see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson III, President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This portrait was designed by Felix Schlag, who won a design contest in 1938. Jefferson's image symbolizes leadership, democracy, and the enduring values of American independence, making the coin more than just money, but a reminder of national identity. On the reverse side, you will find Jefferson's home, Monticello, an architectural masterpiece and an American icon. The inclusion of Monticello adds depth to the coin, linking Jefferson's political legacy with his vision for culture, architecture, and education. The design has remained one of the most stable in U.S. coinage history, giving it a strong identity among collectors. The 1962 nickel was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with Denver producing the majority of coins. More than 380 million nickels were struck that year, which means the coin is not particularly rare in its most common forms. However, condition and errors are where the true value lies. Know exactly how much your specific coin is worth and how you can sell it. Here's what to do. Comment the word price in the comment box, and I will personally tell you its value according to its condition, as well as guide you through the selling process so you can get the most out of your coin. An Australian 20-cent coin from the year 2000. It might just turn the tables for you. This coin is not just an ordinary piece of change. It could be a hidden gem waiting to reveal its true value. Many people handle coins like this every day without realizing that certain details, errors, and conditions can make them highly valuable. Stick around until the end of this video because we will uncover the history of the 2000 Australian 20-cent coin, what makes it special, and how you can sell it. At the very end, I will tell you how to know its exact price and the correct way to sell it if you comment below. The Australian 20-cent coin has been part of the nation's decimal system since 1966, and the 2000 issue continued that proud tradition. On the obverse, or front, the coin carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This design, introduced in 1999, was the fourth major portrait of the Queen used on Australian coins and showed a more mature image of Her Majesty. On the reverse, you will find the striking platypus design created by Stuart Devlin, which has become an iconic symbol of Australia's unique wildlife and identity. Now, while millions of these coins were minted for circulation in 2000, not all of them are the same. Collectors are particularly interested in coins that remain in excellent condition, showing minimal wear and retaining their original shine. More importantly, certain error coins from the year 2000 can command significant attention in the numismatic market. Mistakes during production, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks, can transform a regular 20-1 coin into a rare and valuable collectible. The year 2000 also marked a special time in Australian history. It was the year Sydney hosted the Olympic Games, a moment of national pride and global attention. Although the 20-cent coin itself did not carry a special Olympic design, coins from this year still connect to that memorable period in Australian culture, which adds an extra layer of significance for collectors. For coin enthusiasts and investors alike, the key lies in knowing the condition and checking carefully for errors. A circulated 20-cent coin from 2000 may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated piece or a rare mint error could fetch impressive amounts at auction or through private sales. Collectors around the world, especially those who specialize in Australian decimal coins, are always on the lookout for these rare finds. So if you own a 2000 Australian 20-1 coin, do not overlook it. That small silver-colored coin could be far more valuable than you think. In pristine condition or with a rare minting error, it could bring in significant profit and turn what seems like pocket change into a real treasure. And here is the important part. If you want to know the exact price of your 2000 Australian 20-cent coin and learn the proper way to sell it, comment the word price in the comment box below. I will personally imagine holding a coin that most people might overlook as just ordinary change, but in reality, it carries with it decades of American history, numismatic intrigue, and surprising value potential. If you happen to have a Liberty 5-cent coin from 1977, it might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the end of this video, because we'll uncover not only the incredible story behind this coin, but also how much it's worth today according to eBay, online platforms, and auction records, plus how you can sell one if it's sitting in your pocket or collection. The Liberty 5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel in its later years, has been part of American coinage since the early 20th century. By 1977, this coin was not just a piece of circulating currency. It was a continuation of a long tradition that linked everyday Americans to their nation's heritage. The obverse of the coin features a proud portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence, while the reverse displays his iconic home, Monticello. This design, originally introduced in 1938, had already become a cornerstone of U.S. coinage by the time 1977 rolled around. The year 1977 itself was a fascinating period in American history. The United States was emerging from the shadows of the Vietnam War and grappling with economic challenges such as inflation and unemployment. Everyday purchases were often made with nickels like these, giving them a place in the rhythm of daily life. For collectors, however, 1977 nickels now serve as a snapshot of the era, reflecting both the artistry of American coinage and the practical role coins played in society. Production of the 1977 Liberty 5-cent coin was handled at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with no mint mark on Philadelphia coins and a demarking coin struck in Denver. There were millions produced, making them widely available at the time. Yet, as any seasoned collector knows, not all coins are created equal. While the majority circulated heavily and show signs of wear, a smaller percentage survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. These are the coins that today capture the attention of collectors and investors alike.